Welcome to part 2 of good relationship advice for husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend. Understand how your fears impact your responses. Fear of something awful happening in the future is among the things that make us human. Animals may fear an immediate danger that's occurring right now, however, only we fear something that may occur, that isn't occurring now, that isn't even displaying its ugly face at the minute. This fear, a few may say, is essential. It stops us from doing something unintelligent. However, I've found most of these fears to be unneeded, to be groundless, to be holding us back from accomplishing something. Do you have the fear that you're not good enough? However, here's the thing, having the fear is natural. Letting it stop you from going after your dreams is a tragedy. There has no bit-by-bit program to beating out your fears. However, here's what I've learned, firsthand and from other people. First, acknowledge your fear. This is a large first step. If you do simply this now, you've done something great. A lot of us have these fears, however they're at the back of our brain, unnoticed, unacknowledged, as we attempt to ignore them and pretend they're not there. However, they are there. And they impact us, daily, all our lives. So recognize the fear. Write it down. What's your concern? Put it on a sheet of paper. Writing it down not only recognizes that you have it, bringing it forward, however it externalizes the fear. Take command over it by writing it down. It's now outside you. You are able to do something about it. Feel the fear. You've recognized it, however you're still afraid of it. Understand that you're not unaccompanied, that we all have these concerns, that we all think we may not be good enough. Repeat after me, there's nothing bad with having this fear. Now let yourself to feel it. Ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can occur? Frequently it's not as awful as we think. Do you fear failing in your relationship? What would occur if you did? You'd lick your wounds, you'd find somebody else who's more suited for you, you'd live. Simply do it. Feel the fear and do it anyhow. To beat the fear, you have to simply do it. Be in the moment. Fear of failure is fears of the future tense. We get caught up in fretting about what may occur. Alternatively, banish all thoughts of the future. Banish even thoughts of past errors and failures. Now center on right now. Do something right now to crush your fears, to pursue your ambitions, and forget about what may occur. Little steps. Conquering fear and following up on a goal may be overwhelming, daunting. So start little. Simply take one little step. Something you know you are able to do. Then feel great about that and take another little step. Keep doing this, and before long you'll have conquered more than you can imagine. Celebrate each success. Even the smallest thing. And use this feeling of triumph to propel yourself forward and take the next step. Have realistic expectations. Among the reasons being in love may be so frustrating is that a lot of us expect magic. We expect chemistry, compliments, allegiance, and clever conversation. And we expect it all before the main course has even gotten there. Sustaining healthy expectations in love doesn't mean lowering your standards or flexing your morals. Rather, it means coming to the table with an open mind and letting relationships build by nature in their own way and at their own rate. If you frequently feel disappointed after you fall in love, you might be manifesting your own destiny. Attempt these tips to help recalibrate your love expectation scale. Arrange your life for success. View a date as a chance to share things and getting to understand a new individual. If fireworks blow up, even better. Blooming romance is a bonus of a love, not a fundamental. Be an honest romantic. Having fair expectations doesn't mean turning bitter and jaded. It's possible to keep your heart opened up and your spirit rosy, even as you stay grounded and pragmatic. Understand that your love owes you nothing. In the start of getting to understand one another, the only thing needed is that your love treats you with kindness during your time together. Your love doesn't owe you a telephone call later in the week. Your love doesn't owe you an account of why he or she doesn't wish to see you on a particular day. Be honest about how much you are able to and not able to give. If you do not feel like kissing at a particular time, do not kiss then. If you can't pay for an expensive dinner, do not agree to an expensive dinner, unless your love insists on paying for you. If you're tired and wish to get to bed following dinner, get home and get to bed following dinner. If you do not wish to have sex outside, do not have sex. Giving more than you're ready to give is certain to make people be resentful and heartbroken. Let the relationship show you what it's about rather than trying to steer it where you think it should to go. You've no way of knowing where things are going. Keep your mind in the here and now and surrender control. Allow for a raw ebb and flow. Getting to understand somebody is a slow procedure with its own rhythm. Do not freak if you seem to be drifting in different directions. This is the natural way. Continue seeing your friends. Keep your routines the way they are. When you first meet somebody, it may be easy to float away in an all-consuming, lovesick bubble. This is natural and fantastic, but someday the bubble is going to break. Keeping a little semblance of your own life will make your fall to truth all the easier. If your love seems disinterested in you, move on. If you're disinterested in your love, move on. Learn how to take responsibility for your part of the relationship. We're responsible for our actions, all of them. We're responsible for our ideas and action, whether calculated or unintentional. A responsible individual makes errors, but if they do, they take responsibility and make it correct. Here are ways to be responsible. Be accountable. Maybe you yelled at your kids because you were sapped at the end of a long day. Perhaps you snapped at your mate who was talking your ear off about things you truly weren't interested in. Perhaps you beeped your horn and gave a raunchy gesture to a wandering driver who cut you off. Even if the other individual was out of line, you're responsible for yourself. Whatever you do, you're responsible for your behaviors. If your children are feisty, your mate unreasonable, your colleague unbearable, you're always responsible for how you react. Your action is under your command. Quit blaming. It's simple to point the finger. As a matter of fact, you may build a case against anybody. However, blaming other people doesn't help you get to be a responsible individual. If you quit pointing the finger, you have command over yourself. Simply because the other individual is a dork, do not be one yourself. Acknowledge what occurred. If you acknowledge, yes, I didn't call like I said I would, you eliminate the need to cook up crazy excuses. I messed up is the responsible sentence, and if followed with how may I make it up to you? It makes individuals ready to forgive. Your integrity earns value. Accentuate the favorable. Move through your day with favorable attitude. Have you ever noticed that individuals who do not take responsibility for their own actions are negative and cynical? The people who blame other people seem to have the worst luck. Anything that fails is always that other individual's fault. No wonder they do not accomplish much happiness. They're ceaseless victims. If you take responsibility for having the life you wish, you shift your focus from what failed to what went correctly. A little shifting in focus turns a loser into a winner. See yourself clearly. Taking responsibility includes acknowledging both your weaknesses and fortes. It means acknowledging all that's wonderful about you. If you take responsibility, you understand your talents and put them to use. You know if you've done a great job. You appreciate your work. You're kind to yourself. A responsible individual doesn't dismiss her own accomplishments. She knows her great and positive qualities. She has a full picture of who she is. A responsible individual goes on to grow emotionally. Say thanks. Accept praise graciously. If somebody acknowledges you, say thanks. If somebody is kind or gives you a present, the responsible response is a sincere thanks. Practice healthy self-focus. Thinking too much about our own issues, worrying ceaselessly about the future, ruining the past, and feeling sorry for ourselves may lead to indulgent self-pity. But, taking time to truly know what makes you tick, in a gentle, reflective way is the start of self-love and personal responsibility. If you get familiar with your hurts, your limits, your gifts and talents, you grow into the best individual that you may be, then you're alive and living your best life and working on true love. Learn how to be attentive. Being in a relationship implies caring about the solace and satisfaction of your mate on all levels. If you truly want to satisfy your mate, this means attentiveness to all aspects of the relationship, both in and out of the bedroom. Here are a few ideas that will help. Be thoughtful. Nothing is quite as appreciated as knowing your mate wants to spend time with you. Make yourself available for conversation or run errands with one another. Conveying the notion that you wish to spend time with your mate renders a great deal of emotional gratification. Learn the little things your mate likes. If your mate loves a cup of hot tea in the morning, brew some tea. If your mate likes to curl up in a preferred chair for a noon nap, cover her with a blanket. Little courtesies like these may make your mate very pleased with the quality of the relationship. Keep yourself clean. While this may appear obvious, the fact is a lot of individuals want to kiss first thing in the morning, despite bad breath. Slipping out of bed and brushing your teeth prior to gently kissing the lips of your mate may sweeten the experience and lead to a few pleasant activity. Take a shower while you're up. Ask your mate what he likes. Most women have particular locations on the body that they love to have touched or fondled. Your mate might love the sensation of your hand on the small of the back or the touch of your lips on the nape of the neck. Discover what they like and how they like it. Both of you will be fulfilled with the results. Carry the attentiveness into the bedroom. Sex is a crucial aspect of most relationships. Assorted types of sexual activity appeal to different people. Learn what your mate enjoys and be pleased to comply. The result will be a mate who is pleased with you in and out of the bedroom. Be truthful. Nothing may kill a relationship like telling lies. If you are caught in a lie, it weakens everything your mate thinks about you and impacts every aspect of the relationship. Trustfulness goes a long way in keeping your mate fulfilled. Learn how to be a good communicator. Take in a deep breath to cool off and stay in command whether you are angry, uneasy, or shy. Communicate distinctly and concisely. Don't be obscure. State your exact feeling, like, I am feeling sapped because I didn't get enough sleep. Don't assume the other individual knows how you're feeling. Get directly to the point. Learn how to listen. Center on the individual who is talking. Look in her eyes. Repeat back particular things she says so that she knows you're actively hearing her and engaged in the conversation. Pay attention to your gestural communication. Do not look away or be distracted by other things. Body language says a great deal in communication. If you act like you do not care, you might come off as hard-hearted and cold. Utilize praise along with criticism. Provide a compliment prior to discussing a complaint. Avoid making the other individual feel he is being attacked, which may cause him to get mad and unresponsive. Despite the numerous ways to communicate, great communicators share in common significant principles and techniques that enable them to communicate effectively. The features of great communicators cut across all languages and cultures. Becoming a great communicator has a lot of advantages and benefits in nearly all careers, the home, and in basically everything. Remember that becoming a great communicator is a womb-to-tomb journey and not a destination. Learn how to not hold a grudge. Choose to move on. You expend a lot of energy holding a grudge, simply let it go. Make the decision to clear up the mental space absorbed by this bitterness. When you decide to move on, the grudge will dissipate bit by bit. Observe your feelings. Bitterness builds when emotions go unacknowledged. Take the time to get crystal clear about what you're feeling and how come. Take action accordingly. If you have something that has to be stated, say it. If you have already sounded off with your grievance, then settle any additional feelings yourself. Live with what is. Quit waiting for signs of remorse. Chances are the other individual has already put the subject behind them. You might never receive an apology, but that doesn't mean you ought to continue to indulge bitterness. Be the bigger individual and put the incident behind you. Forgiving somebody doesn't mean excusing them from their behaviors. It doesn't change the facts. If you have been illicitly wronged, then forgiving doesn't mean you have to forget. It does imply that you know that the individual is human and that we all make errors. Switch your focus. Consider the great things about the individual. Discover the positive in a set of circumstances. Perhaps you learned a lesson and found out something new about yourself. Shifting your point of view will help you release bitterness. Once you've vocalized your resentment and committed to marching on, don't continually discuss the offense. If somebody brings it up, explain that it's in the past and you don't wish to harp on it. Develop like interests. Consider how you are able to utilize your cultural background to love your partner's activities. Produce amusing activities that the both of you are able to love together, as this builds up the love and closeness in your relationship despite the cultural differences. If you and your mate both like jazz music and both of you are great at playing instruments, the two of you are able to hold a couple's jazz concert at home where you are able to invite a little group of friends over for dinner. Compromise from time to time, as this allows you to formulate fresh interests and get closer to your partner. Ask your partner questions about his or her interests. This will give you a better understanding and you might formulate an admiration for them. Strong, favorable relationships are crucial to achieving our success. We're in almost constant contact with other people, and we ought to make each contact a chance to strengthen our social skills and reinforce our relationships. We may benefit a lot from sound long-term relationships. Healthy relationships are crucial to our happiness and emotional wellness. They likewise have a favorable effect on our physical wellness. It will influence everything from heart health to age-related health problems. Maintaining sound relationships isn't easy, however it may be done. In sound relationships, we trust one another. Once we have trust with other people, we may be honest about our failings and shortcomings, as we know that we'll be accepted for who we are, without judging or criticism. If you sustain a healthy relationship, you may get support from your partners. Our lives see a lot of changes and hardships. In either case, they frequently make us uncomfortable and challenge us to grow and become more than we were previously. Sound relationships provide us the support and encouragement we require to rise to new and assorted challenges. Having somebody who is willing to listen silently if you're feeling blue or frustrated and need to vent gives you the freedom to express yourself. Occasionally, you simply need to get something off your chest without feeling like you have to watch each word. People in long-term relationships have a history of shared experiences that establish a mutual affection, so they get you without much explanation. When you have a sound relationship, there's always somebody to call on if you need a hand. Everybody, from time to time, needs a hand from a friend, coworker, peer, or loved one. This may be in the form of advice, a new career, or assistance with a certain project in which you need to call on someone else's expertise. Sharing your life with people who you trust, who accept, know and support you reduces tension, as you have camaraderie and, consequently, less potential for interpersonal fights. Great relationships manifest the best in work teams and families by bringing down the anxieties that cause tension and, at the same time, great relationships cultivate a sense of welfare and emotional surety. Having great relationships means that there's a mutual love for each other. Being around individuals you love and who love you produces situations that are harmonious, supportive, and happy. You have a total feeling of satisfaction in your life story. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and